Case closed, or Detective Conan, known in his true manga name, or Mote no Konanku in Japanese. This manga series is a classic, 20 years of history, and the show itself is impressive and long and very good series. Alright, it starts off as a young detective named Jimmy Kudo, or Kudo Shinji in his his true manga name. He's a young high school detective. One day out of the blue, he and his friend Rachel Moore, who has a very standing relationship, or a real Moore in their true Japanese name, went to this festival. They went to this park. They both had fun. Then all of a sudden, there's a murder there. Yeah, on the very ride that they went on, the roller coaster, and he solves it. But then again, he notices some shady characters, two men in black that he don't know, but he can sense there's something off about these guys. So he died to follow up and follows them. Then all of a sudden, boom, he's knocked of his head, fed a mysterious poison which reduces him to the size of a child. He goes from being a high school detective to a little kid named Conan Inagawa. He took the name Conan as Arthur Conan Doyle, who made the Sherlock Holmes novel, and Inagawa, it's a common Japanese name. It's a cover, because who's going to literally believe a detective who's a little kid? He disappears for a while. He disappears, like, people are wondering where he is, but since no one can believe him and know who he is, he turns to his friend, Dr. Agasa, who's his next door neighbor, and with that, he's finally gotten a cover name. He moves in with Rachel Moore and her father, Richard, who's also a detective, but his detective skills are sadly lacking. But he stays with them until he can find a way to return to his true adult body. Meanwhile, on the side, he helps Richard solving case after case after case. He's trying to work on a way to regain his real body and at least go back to normal. And now the truth about it. This is a very long historic arc. I mean, after all, the manga of this Detective Conan was such a popular hit. It started in 1993, and it slowly expanded and expanded and gained popularity through the newspaper arcs. Eventually, it gained its own manga series, and it was published. I mean, it even had its own TV show in 1996, until eventually it gained popularity when it started showing in America. It started first showing in America on Toonami, on Adult Swim. Back then, they were all about popular. Around 2004, Adult Swim English dub. They promote at least the first 50 episodes, but the episodes were canceled because of low fan ratings and low ratings. I mean, after all, I was gonna watch a detective series about a boy who's really a teenager trapped in a kid's body. After all, he is fed a mysterious poison, and no one will know if he's gonna return again. He does return twice, but that's a little tricky. I mean, he does turn it on episode 50, but that's a little trickier to understand. This series itself is a lot. I admit, I watched this series myself, and the fact that I watched it was really interesting. Even though, there's no guarantee that he'll ever solve a case. He does anyway. You want to know how smart this kid is? If he were a real person right in front of you, and let me put this way. If he was a real person right in front of you, and you put him in a room to solve a puzzle with 200 pieces, and you give him 10 minutes to solve the pieces, he would probably have that under wrap in at least 10 to 8 minutes at least. That's how much of a genius this guy is. This guy was famous, and this gained a lot of history. After all, the manga series itself is very popular, and I gotta admit, I continue to watch this series, and I'm a fan. Why? Because I really enjoyed the series. I mean, sure, it may be a little kid who's the main character, and he's really a teenager, but it is what you call a crime dramatic series. After all, you have this guy who solves crime after crime after crime with just his head. He's a genius every time, and this is a lot of history. Even though they only promoted 50 on television, there's at least 130 of this. 130 English dubbed, and 6 movies. A total of 6 available. Like you have a movie about a sniper. You have a movie about a bomb. You have even a movie where he tried to solve the victim of Baker Street. One of Sherlock Holmes movies. I mean, this series itself has a lot of history. Even though it has 130 episodes, that's not the real limit. That's only the ones in English dub. The one in subtitles, that's over 700. 700 more than Naruto, more than Bleach, more than even One Piece. And then there's the manga series itself. It publishes itself twice a month, and the latest chapter was at least yesterday. The latest chapter was at least 2 days ago. Oh, and trust me, they read minds from random to random. But like I said, it's just 20 years old. It has a lot of history and stuff. That's 80 volumes. It's at episode 870. That's 80 volumes. All that history, all that time spent on these novels and these. I mean, that's volume 80. That's supposed to be available in probably 6 months. What I'm holding is volume 18. I'm holding one of the first under 20 copies in my hands right now. This isn't even my book. I just checked this out in the library. I ordered it off the library a month ago. I waited a month for this book so I can do my review and people could listen to this. This isn't even my copy, but I enjoyed reading it. Enjoyed reading it. When I'm done with it, I will return it. I needed this as a visual aid to help support. Right. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's straight off the hit. As you are aware, the thing is, even though there's over 700 episodes, not all of them are in English dub. I don't know why Funimation or Viz Media or any of them are putting this show on hold, even though they already have 130 in English dub. If they just put more episodes in, and especially more movies, you have a lot more money for them, even though they could do that. And this series itself is popular too. I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, after all, 700 episodes, and I mentioned it has 6 movies. Those are 6 movies in English dub. That's not true. No, those are the ones in English dub, but there's at least 14 movies. At least 14 movies. And Jimmy gets to at least find some of the men in black. The same men in black. Tequila and Vodka, those are the names of the characters in the series. He gets to find them again, at least. Those are the guys that did this to him. They're called the Black Syndicate, or the organization. And he gets to meet it, and he gets to meet a lot more friends. Like, he has to pretend to be this kid. Because remember, if the organization knows that he's alive, they will come kill him and everyone else. Yeah, they try to do it once. Like, this is an untested drug. Look, and trust me, I've seen this series. It's popular. You'll probably get some enjoyment out of it. Because like Cop Show, you have a detective. If you watch Bones, the TV show Bones, Bones, Sealy Booth, Dr. Temperance Brennan, this show is like that. But instead of using a lab, he uses his head. I mean, you get some enjoyment out of this. It's a long-standing tradition, and as an anime fan, I am a fan of this show. No, you can't deny that from this review. I am a fan. I thought that they were done. I thought when they promoted the first 50 episodes in around 2004, 2005, I thought they were just done. It was just limited. But when I found out that there were more of this series, I watched all the episodes all over again. I felt nostalgic. I felt like I was like something that I thought I would only see once, that I would never see again in my life. And the more episodes I watch, the more I want to clue in. Even though this is a big trick, this is a long series. I'm still not on with the English dubs, but I am watching them. I'm even watching the movies too. And I'm also watching the subtitles. I'll get to the subtitle ones when I'm done, but that's over 700 episodes. I can't waste all my time on that. I at least got to the part, but this is a long, historic anime arc. It's very nostalgic. I mean, you'll get some enjoyment. I'll put the link down in the description bar. And like I said, and so you can watch this. After all, I'm going to put the link down. At least start at episode 1, then you get to at least watch some of the movies. I mean, you get some enjoyment. I mean, this guy does help out. Jimmy Kudo, Conan Edogawa, whoever his name is, he's a true detective. You can't deny that. And you just love the way he helps Rachel Moore. Rachel Moore could also kick butt too. She is a karate expert, trust me. You get to see her do some fight. And her father herself may be a drunk and a goofball, but he at least tries to help at sometimes. And then there's also Inspector McGuire, who knows Jimmy Kudo well, who also knows how much of a genius he is. He shows up at almost every crime. And then there's friend Dr. Gagwa. And then there's the junior detective lead friends, his kids. And you see in the back of this manga, you get to see Anya. You see Her real name is Sherry. She's from the Black organization. She took the same drug as Jimmy just tried to avoid getting killed because she wouldn't work for them. So she came to work. This is volume 18. We're talking. I'm running a volume from at least the late 90s, and they've been continuing to this day up to 2013. They have a lot of history. They're probably gonna be around for a couple more years. They should end it though, cause think about it. Jimmy should at least return to his body. You can't stay stuck a kid forever, and besides, 700 episodes? That's one of the longest arcs you could ever imagine. That's 20 seasons. 20. That's impressive for an anime show. This show won an award more than once for a couple of years. This won a guaranteed mystery dramatic horror award. Trust me, this is one of the best. I'll put the link down so you can all watch this anime from the beginning. And if you want to search for more for the English subtitle episodes, I won't deny you. Just go to just write I'll put the same link down for an anime website called anime.sellavin. Click for the one that says Detective Conan. Trust me, you'll guarantee. I'll put the link down. Anyway, this is Sullivan. I always give you my latest video of Case Closed, Jimmy Kudo, Conan Nagawa, Detective Conan, Moto no Conan in Japanese. Once again, thank you. Hope you enjoy. This is Sullivan Adams giving you my latest review. Signing off.